And welcome back in to the adventures of the East Coast Abigail and I had, and this edition is Nova Scotia. So thanks so much for following along thus far. I hope you've been enjoying, and as always, if you have any questions or comments, leave them down in the comments below and I will nip in and answer any questions or respond to your comments. So grab yourself a seat and get ready to enjoy the beauty of Nova Scotia. So we took the ferry over from PEI, and this is what captivated me about the ferry ride was all the water that the boat was churning up and the colors that it was making and the patterns. It was just absolutely fascinating. So we landed up here in Nova Scotia and we were making our way down to Digby as we were heading for whale watching. So this was quite a trek. Lots of gorgeous scenery, a lot of remote roads, not really much civilization once we got past this particular part over here. So it was very interesting coming from Ontario and having so much everywhere, and just seeing the vastness of this province. So here we are in Digby. These are the scallop ships. I was very fascinated with them and all the boat patterns and textures and colors and the reflections. And so then we were heading to whale watching the next day from Briar Island, which is down the Digby Neck. So we had to go all the way down here. We had to take two ferries across two different islands to get to Briar Islands. And these are some sights along the way. This here is on Briar Island. Absolutely beautiful views. That's my reflection in the water. And I just love the halo and sunlight. It's a very interesting image. And just the ladders that go down as the tide is low. We went out at low tide, so we had to walk down quite a fair steep ladder to get onto the boat. And of course, when we came back, the tide was all the way up to the sidewalk, so that was interesting. So, whale watching. Yes, we saw whales. We saw lots of whale tails and birds, and there's a whale right there, and there it is diving. And we saw another tour boat from Freeport Island that was or not Island, Freeport, I believe it's called. They were watching this whale, and they backed off for a while and let him come and show off for us. Here's the a part of a whale here. This is the tubercles on the whale, and it's got some, like, there's some sea kelp there, and they like to sort of massage their tubercles in this. I'm told from the guide that we had on the tour. So that was very fascinating to see. This is the whale's blowhole. Very fascinating. And we got to see a breach. Now this image is so not technically correct, but it was absolutely, like, just quite the experience to see this big whale jump up out of the water in front of my eyes. So I did the best I could with the excitement that was happening at the moment. The whale was very performative, and it was showing its flippers and smacking them on the water and wiggling them around and jumping up for us. It was quite the show. This has been on my bucket list since I ever started photography, was wanting to photograph whale's tail and seeing whales breach, and I got to check off the box. And though the picture is not technically sound, it's the moment, and I will forever cherish it. And these are some of the houses there, and shacks and boats. Some views from the boat of the shoreline. Just love the ruggedness of it. It was absolutely incredible. And this was the seaweed that was under water. It was really fascinating to see it come up. It was so tall. It was from the bottom all the way up to the top of the surface. I don't even know how deep that was, over 6 feet for sure. But it was very fascinating to see that these seaweeds or vegetation, whatever it is, were that long. So some more boats. Okay, then we headed over from Digby over to the South Shore and made our home in Lunenburg. And here's some beauty from Lunenburg. Some creations just of the streets. And this was the view from where we were staying. It was very interesting because we did get to see it in all sorts of weather conditions. We had fog, we had clear sunny days. It was very lovely. Then we went to a bunch of little day trips. So Lunenburg was the base, and then I did a bunch of little day trips to different beaches and sites. And this here is at a place called Sand Dollar Beach, and I was absolutely gobsmacked with the terrain that was there. Their rocks were absolutely stunning. The textures and the colors were absolutely a delight. I do have quite a bit more on my social media of images and videos that I took from the cell phone. Then we went up to a place called Blue Rocks. So these were some sites along the way in Blue Rocks. Again, captivated with the terrain, those colors. And then more of Lunenburg. And we got to Peggy's Cove. So this is a view from Peggy's Cove. The rock there was incredible as well. Loved the terrain. And I really was trying to find some non-typical photographs of the lighthouse. As you know, you can only see the same image so many times. So I was trying to get something a little bit different. So here's it reflected in a puddle. And another one quite like that. And this one, there was a fellow sitting there, and I just loved his contemplated state and the red shirt that he was wearing, kind of echoing the top of the lighthouse. And it's a nice little composition. I was very, very happy with this particular image. It was very hard to photograph at Peggy's Cove because there were people everywhere, and they came in different droves. So it was a lot of patience kind of waiting for when people were gonna, make their movements, and okay, where can I position myself so that I get a clean shot? And it was very, very challenging, but it was a very beautiful sight to be at. And there's just some of the folks. And then views around the town. Very typical photographs of the cove, but it was very pretty to see it. Met this little pigeon, thought he was a cutie. And we ended up staying till sundown, so that was a real treat to be able to see it at the light fading down. And you can get an idea of how large these rocks are with these two folks that are sitting here taking in the setting sun. Lovely place. I'd love to see it again. Then it was time for a beach day. We went to a little place down the shore called Hurdles Beach, and I was very fascinated with the waves. It was just incredible. It's the Atlantic Ocean, and the waves were absolutely ferocious. I was dumbfounded with this rock, like totally blue, that's not painted. Stunning. Yeah, so I really was liking the way that the sand was, the wind was carving out patterns in the sands, and the water was absolutely captivating. And here's Lunenburg in some fog. I love this one. I'm gonna make greeting cards of this one. It's just so lovely. Then we went to a place called Mahone Bay. Probably heard of that as well. It's very popular in the south coast of Nova Scotia. And these are some photos from there. This is Lunenburg again, and Hurdles, Lunenburg. And if you'd like to see more of the behind the scenes, cell phone pictures, videos, that sort of thing, in my Instagram profile @vision_faux, I've got Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, and PEI. There's a whole bunch of treasure in there, so feel free to enjoy. Well, that's it for my 3-week tour. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know any questions or comments that you have. Let me know what you're thinking of the work that was created. I'd love to hear your feedback. So do that in the comments, and I will nip into them and respond to every comment. Thanks so much for joining me in this awesome once-in-a-lifetime photo adventure. I hope to be able to be releasing some photos soon. So if there's anything you're interested in, just send me a note and I can get on it a little bit quicker. All right. Well, thanks again, and enjoy the beauty that surrounds you.